The number 33 appears again and again in Scripture at the precise moments when God's promises reach completion. This is not coincidence. In the Bible, 33 functions as a covenant marker, a sign that what God promised has now been fulfilled. From a beloved king, to the beloved son, to the beloved city, Scripture reveals a continuous divine pattern of love, kingship, and covenant fulfillment. This is the mystery of 33. We begin with David. In Hebrew, the name David, Dawid, means beloved. David was chosen by Yahweh as a man after his own heart, and appointed as king over Israel. But David was more than a historical ruler. He was a prophetic prototype of the Messiah to come. Remarkably, David appears as the 33rd ancestor in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. And David did not reign for an arbitrary length of time. He ruled for exactly 33 years over a united Israel. Those 33 years symbolized maturity and completion. Under David, the kingdom was unified, worship was established, and Jerusalem became the center of God's dwelling among his people. David's reign represents covenant kingship brought to fullness, but David himself pointed forward to someone greater. That greater fulfillment appears in Jesus Christ. At Jesus' baptism and again at his transfiguration, Yahweh spoke from heaven and declared, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." The title, beloved, first associated with David, now rests fully upon Jesus. Jesus is the greater David, the eternal heir of the throne, and the fulfillment of every covenant promise given to Abraham and reaffirmed through David. And once again, the number 33 marks the moment of completion. At the age of 33, Jesus sealed the new covenant with his blood. Through his death and resurrection, divine love and sacrificial redemption were united. What had been promised through generations was now fulfilled in the beloved Son. The same number that defined David's reign now defines the moment God's redemptive plan reached its turning point. But Scripture does not stop there. The pattern of the beloved continues into the book of Revelation. Here, the title appears again, not for a man, but for a city. Revelation speaks of the beloved city, identified as the New Jerusalem, descending from heaven as the perfected bride of Christ. This shift from beloved king to beloved son to beloved city completes the full circle of God's covenant. What began with a man after God's heart ends with a people and a dwelling fully united with God himself. The beloved city bears the names of the Father and the Lamb, signifying complete oneness between heaven and redeemed humanity. In Scripture, cities represent communities, identity, and belonging. The beloved city represents the final expression of God's covenant love, God dwelling permanently with his people. Just as David's 33-year reign established a kingdom of peace, and Christ's life at 33 established eternal redemption, the descent of the beloved city marks the consummation of that same covenant. By this stage, every promise has been fulfilled. Sin is removed, Satan is restrained, and God dwells with humanity forever. What began with an earthly Jerusalem ruled by a beloved king ends with a heavenly Jerusalem ruled by the beloved Son, now shared with his bride. Scripture reveals that the beloved city represents the New Jerusalem, the heavenly dwelling of Christ, and those who reign with him as kings and priests. Alongside it stands the camp of the holy ones, describing God's faithful people on earth who remain loyal to his rule and purposes. When the Bible speaks of a final assault against the beloved city, it is not merely an attack on heaven itself, but an assault on the unified relationship between heaven and earth, a bond that has become fully joined through covenant fulfillment. This reveals the depth of God's purpose. His covenant is not designed for separation, but for union, bringing together what was once divided and dwelling permanently with his redeemed people. When we step back, the pattern becomes clear. David, the beloved king, reigns 33 years. Jesus, the beloved Son, completes his mission at 33. The beloved city appears only after every promise is complete. Through this lens, 33 is no longer a random number. It is a divine signature, a marker placed by God to show where His word moves from promise to reality, from kingship to redemption to eternal dwelling. And the message carried through every appearance of 33 in Scripture is the same. Yahweh's love has accomplished its purpose. His promises stand fulfilled.